Hello and welcome to AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast, where we like to shine a light on hardworking, talented high school and college softball players and coaches in and from the 48th state. So we got this is a special show. We got two high schoolers that have committed to the same school. So we have Mari Garcia with from Canyon View High School, and Lexi Walper from Seton Catholic. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. You guys both committed to a highly academic school in San Antonio, Trinity University. So we definitely want to talk about that, obviously. So we want to talk about your commitment, your signing, your commitment to Trinity, and then your recruitment journey, how it all came about, and then your overall take on it. What would you tell your younger self, knowing now what you know, and then what do you love most about softball? And then lastly, I want to talk about, hey, this is your last high school season. It's your last club season, coming up this summer. Has that set in yet? And what's your approach to it? So does that sound good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So let's start with Mari. Mari, you signed with Trinity University, and you're with the Athletics Mercado 18U team. Mm-hmm. And I think they took notice of you down in Houston, I think. So tell us how that all happened, how it all came about.
So I joined the Athletics Mercado Mo in August, right before fall, and we went to the Ronald McDonald tournament where we got invited. It's a highly competitive tournament. It's a good showcase tournament to get in front of those colleges. And at that time, I was uncommitted, so I was still a little anxious about where I wanted to go. Went out there, played well. The team played well, balled out. Then the assistant coach, Coach Jasmine, happened to stop by one of our games. I was playing. She then contacted our recruiting coordinator, was talking to him, and then felt interested. Then after that, the next game, she brought out the head coach, Coach Witt, and then she loved what she saw from me, how I played, my attitude, my effort, and then had a conversation after the game. Had a conversation talking to me about what I was looking for, what was my situation at that time with colleges. Then she invited me out for a visit. After that, a month later, went out to San Antonio, checked out the campus.
What do you think of San Antonio?
Oh, San Antonio is such a great city. It was so fun. Me and my parents, we went down to the Riverwalk. It was so fun with all the music, good food. Then fell in love with the campus. Such small, architecture, good buildings, good facilities, athletic facilities, good dorms. Just fell in love with the campus, and then fell in love with the coaches. Got to meet some of the players that are freshmen right now. Got along with them well.
Did you ask a lot of questions?
Yeah, I asked a lot about how they liked it so far from being a freshman and what they expected, and then what was reality when they got there, and then they answered pretty well.
When did you realize, hey, this is a highly sought academic school? Right that night, maybe after they were interested in you? Or when did you figure out that, wow, this is a great school?
Yeah, so after that conversation, because I didn't hear about Trinity before I met the coach, and then I went after, researched it, and then saw it was a high academic. And me personally, I've been growing up high academics, putting my good work ethic into school and getting those high grades, wanting to do well in school, and talking to the players too about what their majors are and how highly they are, and that's
Yeah, and then I had heard that the assistant coach, like you said, saw you play. And the next time when the head coach came out to see you play, they were like, hey, we need to see number 32 in there. And say, no problem. And they got you in, and right off the bat, like it is, you had two balls come to you or one come to you, and you played great defense, and you got the out. It was spectacular plays, by the way.
Yeah.
I saw them. And then also, you were up the bat, the very right at the same time. They put you right off the bat because it's a showcase, and you ripped yourself a line drive base hit. Yeah. So I think that might have sealed the deal there for you.
I think so too. And I didn't at that time. I was just playing the game, and then my coach, oh, you're going in. I'm like, okay. Didn't really know him, and then I just went out and performed, and then got the opportunity, and I played well.
That's good. Thank you. Oh, what about now that you've been through that, what was your overall take on the recruitment process? Because here you are. I mean, it worked out really good for you, so congratulations.
Thank you.
You finally found your school in the fall of your senior year.
Yes.
We've had people find their school spring of their senior year. So what do you think what's your overall take on the recruitment process itself?
The recruitment process is definitely a grind. It's definitely a process, and you can't really compare your journey to other people's journey because everyone's different. Everyone's gonna find their own school at different times, and you just have to find the best one for you. And into doing that, you have to really put in the work and emailing your coaches, emailing the schools that you want to go, and having some personal personal stuff in that to show that you are really interested and not just another email coming from them, because college coaches get thousands of emails and they don't have that lot of time to go through each one unless you put that little personal to show that you are really interested so they can become interested in you.
So you took time to learn about the school and then say, hey, coach, I saw you won. Yeah. Congratulations. Or you guys have my major. Something that makes it look like it's not just the same email going out 50 times.
Yes. And it just shows that you're interested in their program and wanting to be in part of their program. So they'll take the time to invest in you. And going to the camps, always communicating, because communication is very important, and communicating with the colleges. And just trusting the process also comes along with the recruitment process. You don't get so overwhelmed if it's not happening right then and there. Just keep working, and if you put in the work, then it'll come to you.
Yeah, because you went to a few different places, a few different visits, and then you feel like when you went to San Antonio, it just fit. You felt like, hey, I love this place.
Yeah.
Is that what? Because you went to different places, so what was different about this place?
It just felt like. It felt like a little bit of home. I have some family in Dallas, so it's close. But then just how small the campus is and how tightly knit the players were together. The players that I met, they were all from different places, but from just them being there for 3 months, and when I went to have lunch with them, they all already seemed so close and so friendly with each other and already doing great. So it's oh, okay, then I'll be okay out here with them. I'll be okay. I don't have to worry about being so far from home, and it just felt good. And the coaches were so welcoming. They felt Coach Witt had said oh yeah, we have a volunteer assistant coach, and she's the team mom. So it's you have those coaches being there for you and wanting the best for you.
And then were you thinking, man, if I go out there, who's going to be my roommate? Is anybody else from Arizona going to be there?
Yeah, so going there, that I went after Lexi, and I saw that she committed, and then going out there and then seeing how beautiful the campus was and how I fell in love with it, and then plus having her there, knowing that, oh, if I go here, she'll be there too. It's adding a sense of home. Okay, she's from Arizona. I've known her. We go to the same hitting coach, so we see each other around. So it felt good to have a person there and not just being all by myself trying to figure things out.
At least you're there together.
Yes.
And there together are you guys going to be roommates there?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, good. And another question for you, Mari, is what would you tell, you talked about what worked for you, the camps, the emails, the personalized emails, the communication, the visits. What would you tell your younger self, looking back, what would you tell your freshman or sophomore self about the recruiting process?
So it's funny because I have a younger sister. She's a sophomore, and she's beginning her journey. And from what we learned from my journey, we're trying to teach her how to do better. And what I was telling her, you just have to sometimes relax. Don't become so stressful about it, and just trust it. And also just sending those emails, making sure to narrow down the list of schools and not have such a broad list. Because that's just a lot of time, sending emails to 50 plus schools or 30 plus schools, when you should really narrow it down to 15 schools to really get to know that school and that program. And then now social media is a big thing these days. So I think during my process, I didn't really use social media that well in contacting coaches, but from now for my sister, showing her that, okay, maybe DMing them, texting them through social media is a better way because it's on their phones. It's easy for them to see.
That's good. Mm-hmm. And you think your little sister is going to listen to her big sister?
I don't think right here in the moment, but if I keep picking at her, she'll listen. Okay, she'll follow.
That's super. And then, Mari, what do you love most about softball? It could be on the field or off the field, certain situations. What do you love about it?
I think overall it's just the lessons you get from softball, like overcoming adversity, dealing with failure, like motivation, working with other teammates, just all those different lessons that you need later in life is really important. And then just the friendships and the memories you bring along the way, like playing with you're with these girls like a lot of your time of the day, and like you're with them every weekend. During the summer, you're like with them all the 2 months with the week-long tournaments, and you just build those friendships, build those memories that will last a lifetime. And then that's just really fun to experience.
Amen. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a word from our sponsor, Pure Green Juice Bar in Tempe, Arizona. It's located off of Mill and 3rd Street, just behind Daily Jam. They are big supporters of ASU softball, so much so that they're offering 10% off any smoothie if you go get juiced up before the game. So pre-game at Pure Green Tempe, 10% off any smoothie in the house. And then when the Sun Devils win, for the next 24 hours, you get 15% off anything on the entire menu. So go Devils. And remember, whether that's a home game or an away game, anytime they win, you get 15% off the entire menu. They got great acai bowls. In the morning, they got great avocado toast, great different things. So, hey, Pure Green Tempe. And so now we're back. Now we're going to talk with Lexi, the other Trinity University commit. And Lexi, your story is an amazing story, and I'm so glad you're on the show with us. This is and you're going to explain it to me, but this is how I interpreted the story, okay? You had a dream to play college softball, okay? But you lived in another country, and you were in Canada for a couple years, and you're like, maybe it's not coming through and happening for you. It's like, Mom, I got to get to the United States. So you say, you had an aunt that lived down here?
Yep.
So you say, I want to move to a new high school, a new country, go to this high school that I don't know anybody there because I want to make my dreams come true and I want to play college softball.
Yep.
All right. All right. So tell us how it all came about.
Okay, so I was raised on Vancouver Island in Canada, basically my whole life. It's a pretty big island, though. It makes it sound small, but it's pretty big. And I played softball since I was 9. I always had the dream of playing college softball just from seeing the smaller colleges around where I was from. But then I started to see, like, the bigger schools, like, and started to learn more about, like, oh, wait, like, there's more out there, like, wow, America. Like, there's so many schools there, and, like, there's so many opportunities there. And so going into my junior year, I talked with my parents, and I was like, my dad kind of brought something up, like, hey, why don't you go live with my cousin Ashley, like, in Phoenix? And it was kind of like, we'll just throw that out there. Like, that's not really actually going to happen. And I was like, like, I would do that. If we could make that happen, like, I'd be open to that. And so then it was really cool. Things kind of just fell into place, and it was like, it just seemed like everything was working out, and it was like, okay, this is getting realer and realer and realer. But the catch is, like, my parents weren't going to be moving with me. So obviously that was a big thing to get over, but I was really, honestly, looking back, I'm like, how was I so open to that? I don't know what was, I guess I was just really feeling the passion.
You were
like
14, 15 years old at the time?
Almost, yeah, I think I was 16, but
16?
Yeah, I totally had a dream, and I was ready to make the sacrifices to make it happen. So I moved down here in the summer of 2022.
How was it when you finally said, Mom, I'm doing it? And what was her reaction?
Oh my goodness. She was like, are you sure? She just kept asking me. I remember, like, the month leading up to moving, she was like, are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Every time I was like, yes, I'm sure.
That's great.
Even if I wasn't 100% sure. I was like, well, we're this far now, so might as well try it out. And it was
so how did you choose Seton Catholic?
Well, I have my cousin who I'm living with. She has, like, family friends whose kids go there.
Okay.
And I was actually, like, looking into going to Xavier originally, but then we realized it's, like, way too far from where I live for me to, like, commute that every day.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I know. And I'm so glad I go to Seton. I have so many amazing friends there, and I love it. So.
And then when you showed up at Seton Catholic, did you ever think, Mom, there's this girl at Seton Catholic, Sarah Daniel. She's one of the top players in the country, and she's going to LSU, and I get to play middle infield with her.
Dude.
When did you realize that?
Oh my, when I got there, well, like, her family was super supportive of me and, like, helping me with, like, everything, like, when I moved here. And I remember just, like, telling my friends at home, like, guys, I'm playing with a LSU commit. Like, oh my goodness, like, telling my friends at home, and that was really cool, just getting to play with her.
And how was she? She was awesome. So gracious all year.
So sweet. Such a great player, such a great athlete, and, like, her family has just been, like, more than amazing to me and my family.
That's great. And so then you're here, you're digging in, you're starting to make your dream come true. And then tell me how like for Madi, she was down in Houston at the Ronald McDonald tournament, and they saw her play, and then they were more interested. How about you? How did you come across Trinity?
Yeah, so I was doing a Head First honor roll camp in California with your daughter, and it was a lot of fun. And at that point, I didn't really have many looks from colleges. Like there was a couple smaller D3, maybe one small D1 in like New York, but I wasn't sure about where I was going yet. And the head coach, Coach Witt, was there, and she wasn't even a part of the camp. She was just there watching, like just kind of roaming around.
Because at this camp, it was run by actual college coaches that they're doing the drills. But yeah, it's pretty smart of Coach Witt because she can just run around and see whatever she wants to see.
Yeah, so
she's pretty smart.
Yes. So she saw me playing, or she saw something I was doing there. She liked it, and I didn't get to talk to her at all while I was there until I got home. And I think it was like probably a month or so later, I got an email from her saying like, hey, I saw you playing at the Head First honor roll camp. Like, I liked what I saw. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And I was just like, like Trinity University, never heard of it. But I was like, sure, might as well. Like, it's usually I'm the one reaching out to coaches. So I was like, she's reaching out to me. Like, this could be something good. And so then we ended up setting up a phone call, and then she invited me for a visit. And I loved it. I loved the campus.
Now, do your visit. Now, did you call your mom and say, hey, you coming with me? Did your parents come down all the way from Canada?
Yeah, my mom came with me.
Did she know that was the place of the Alamo?
I don't know. I didn't know that,
okay.
So
from Canada,
probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool, and it meant a lot to me that I got to go with my mom, and we got to see it together. So yeah.
And then what happened at the visit? Did she say anything to you? The coach said, hey, I want you, or did they wait and offer you later? How does that whole process work?
Yeah, so they had it really well planned out, which is what stood out to me. It was like they made a really big effort. Like, just the whole process of me being there on campus was like amazing. And you know, we did like the try on the uniform and like take pictures and all that kind of stuff, meet the team, which was great. I loved the girls, like they were so sweet. And then we sat down in her office, and she was just like, hey, like, I'm interested in you. I'd like to offer you a spot on the team. We'd love to have you here.
How was that moment for you?
It was crazy. It was so surreal. Like, looking back, I felt like I was in a dream.
And your mom right there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. My mom, the look on my mom's face, I'll never forget. She was so happy for me.
That's great.
Yeah, so then I didn't commit right then and there because I had a couple other visits set up at that point. And then I went on those, and it didn't compare at all. So
but that's good that you went on those.
Yeah.
To at least
Sure.
same with you, Madi, right? You go to a couple, because you never know. So that's great. Look, you were open to it. You had never heard about them before, and now you guys are going to be roommates at an awesome university in San Antonio.
Yes.
Yep. That's it's an amazing story. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, thank you.
And what would your take on the recruitment process? You came from another country, so you might have a different perspective. What worked for you? What didn't? What did you think about the whole thing?
Overall, it was honestly a really frustrating experience for me. I got kind of discouraged a lot of the time, especially going into senior year with like really no idea where I was going. I was pretty worried about it, and I think that's probably a common thing for a lot of seniors that don't know where they're going. But what worked for me, I guess, I mean, going to that camp, if I didn't go there, I wouldn't have been recruited. And I'm still happy that I did send out those emails to those like schools prior to that, so I knew how to communicate with coaches like going into that. And something that Coach Witt, head coach, actually told me is that she, like when I was on my visit, she mentioned that she thought I was very like mature with the way that I communicated with her, and she was like, I appreciate that. So like looking back, like I think that was definitely something that helped me a lot, is just like my communication skills.
So the benefit of maybe it was disappointing you weren't getting the feedback you wanted, but you had to write a lot.
Yeah.
You had to communicate.
Yeah.
So that was just practice. I tell people all the time, every time you get a no, that's just, you should be excited because you're closer to a yes. You know, one more no, I'm closer. And one more no, I'm closer. So, and all that's good practice. So when you do finally get to the opportunity that's really going to happen, you're well prepared.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure like a lot of young softball players who want to play in college, they all have the goal of playing D1 or like high, like in those really big schools that everyone knows about. And I had that goal too. And so that was kind of like something that I had to come to terms with, is when I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Like maybe I'm not going to go and play for, Florida or whatever. And once I like accepted that and I like actually went to Trinity and saw it and I was like, okay, like I can see myself being here, that's when I was like, there really is somewhere like for everyone, regardless of the division and the location.
Yeah, 100% agree. And then, what would you tell your younger self now, knowing that if you know, what would you tell your younger self, knowing now what you know?
Yeah, I would say don't stress about trying to rush anything. Like, the time will come. I would also tell myself not to compare myself to other girls and other people that I see, especially with social media is so prevalent these days. Just don't focus on what other people are doing. Just keep your head down and keep grinding, and your time will come.
Maybe use social media as a business tool to market yourself with.
Yeah.
And maybe just keep it at that.
Yeah.
Without having to surf there all day and look at other stuff. The purpose of your social media account is to communicate with other people. So yeah, that's really good. That's pretty mature. And then, what do you love most about softball? I know as Marty, that was great answer. You know, the camaraderie you build, the relationships, and then I know I've heard a lot of coaches say that too. I mean, build those relationships. Well, to your point.
Yeah, that of course, and also just like for me personally, the experience and like all the opportunities I've gotten, getting to move to a completely different country for the sport that I love, and getting to meet so many amazing people, and honestly, just like the opportunities that I've had, and like. Even looking back at camps that I've gone to that didn't get me recruited, I'm just like, I'm so grateful that I got to do that and experience that and travel to all these places. Like, I've been to Alabama and, like, just, like, random states that I would never have gone to, like, if I hadn't played softball. So I just think just all of the opportunities that I've been given because of the sport.
That's great. You probably traveled to more states than most Americans that live here that are born here.
I think so.
Yeah, that's great. And lastly, hey, it's your last high school. I don't want to get you all melodramatic here, but it's your last high school season. It's your last summer club ball season. Has that set in, and if it has, what's your approach to it?
I don't think it hasn't set in fully yet. Just this past month, I just turned 18, officially an adult. Like that.
You got it all figured out now.
Oh no. But I don't think it's fully set in yet. I think as soon as March, April comes around, then maybe because graduation is coming up. But it's actually surreal to look back and see on all of that I experienced and all the fun memories I made and everybody that I made friendships with and how I will continue that during college. And right now it's just having fun, playing the game that I love, playing the game that I grew up on, putting in that work, and just continuing to grind it out, getting ready for college. So when I step on campus, I'm ready to go, ready to make an impact.
Amen.
For me, I don't know, like, school ball is it's really fun. It's just, like, lighthearted, and it's like a family. And I'm definitely, like, looking forward to taking, like, a leadership role this year on the team as a senior and kind of, like, being there for the younger players and just, like, having fun, honestly. I just want to have fun. And this is only my second year playing school ball because we don't have high school softball in Canada, so...
They don't have high school softball in Canada?
They don't
what
have
do they
high
do?
school softball. Oh, you just play club all year round. So I've only ever played club until I moved here. Yeah. But, so this really is, like, kind of like my sophomore year of, like, playing school ball, but, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
That's good. Well, Marty and Lexi, thanks for being on the show. You guys were spectacular. Thanks for your candor and being so open and sharing your awesome stories.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
This is Javier with AZ in the Circle. If you guys liked our show and you felt like we earned your subscription, then please subscribe. Please like us. Please share this with everyone. Thank you so much. AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast.